One of the questions that I think we all have, and welcome to the show, and hi, how are you? It's South Park's Mega Worldwide. We're back on track. We're doing the show. We're okay. We're here. We're here. You're here. I'm here. One of the things that keeps coming up is what I would call the quid pro Joe. What in the world are these folks saying that China gave money to Biden and through Hunter and all this stuff, and they shuffled this money around, right? That's what we hear. All this money. All this, they gave him all this money to say he was selling America. And my question was, for what? What did they get in return for it? Well, we may indeed have an answer, and if not an answer, at least the same fucking question that we're asking. But here's Dick. Dick is here, which is good.
Where's Dick? Hi, Dick. Do we like Dick? Yes.
What?
So yeah. It's Dick Morris, he of the pink tie. And what did China get from Joe? Well, let's find the fuck out. I need to know. We'll get to Romania later. But what did China get from Joe Biden? Let's hear it. This, especially the shit that happened, I think, in 2017.
As the stunning charges of bribery against...
Also, are you just holding, like, Mentos in the back of your mouth as you're speaking? Honest to God. I don't understand what's happening here. Is this what happens when you get veneers that are bigger than your original teeth?
The Biden family continue. We are learning what China gave them.
All right, yes, we're learning what China gave to them. Sure, yeah.
But what's less clear, and
yeah, what's less clear, careful here. What the hell was that? Careful, you're dangerously close to fucking up your entire argument.
deserves greater scrutiny is the other half of
The greatest scrutiny is the other half of what
Jesus Christ. Were you just like guzzling cotton balls before this fucking show?
the quid pro quo. What did China get from Biden?
Right, yeah, good idea. Tell us what, obviously, happy family pictures. That's what they wanted. They just wanted more pictures of an Irish family taking a big bunch of, look how many Catholics we are.
Some are inclined to gloss over the question.
Not me.
And simply say they wanted to build a relationship with the incoming American president.
Well, yeah, but they'd have to have done it when he was the incoming president, sort of like Russia playing footsie with Trump in the lead up to him actually, after he was actually elected. You know, the shit that Flynn pulled, right?
But a careful review of the facts shows that China told Biden to pursue its global objectives, often in direct contradiction of American interests.
Oh my God, did you say so? Tell me how much it does it.
Why are you suddenly like, I feel like I'm listening to Jar Jar Binks argue how much they should pay a hooker through a hotel wall. Like, this is...
It's getting hard to distinguish.
It's hard to me, seducer. Why didn't know? The leaves and money's on the justices.
Between Biden's incompetence and weakness in dealing with China and the potential malevolence and corruption. Is he just giving China what it wants, or is he paying back a debt?
Right. Or is he fucking them in the ear?
And keeping a secret of his bribery and corruption. The most deadly threat to America was the COVID virus that
right. That I forget who was president when that hit. Does anybody remember?
has killed more than 1 million of us. COVID came just as Donald Trump, with his hardline position on China, seemed headed for an easy re-election. And China needed Trump to lose.
Well, not if they liked how he was handling it and wanted to kill more of us, I suppose, because it wasn't like he was changing position.
His tariff increases had sent the Chinese economy crashing, cutting its growth rate by at least half.
No, that was COVID doing that. Just telling you this.
I don't know if it's like Carol Channing doing a Jar Jar Binks impersonation.
Exports dropped by 12% and unemployment soared.
Along with the rest of the fucking world.
But after COVID, Trump's re-election prospects soured.
Was that when it was? because he was getting, I would say, in the middle of COVID, he was fucked.
The Chinese government maintained that the disease spread through the bite of a bat from a nearby wet market in Wuhan.
No, they didn't. I mean, there's been a lot of sideline stories, but at no point are they suggesting that someone was shopping at a wet market and then a bat went and just went for somebody's jugular, and that person went home with the sniffles and passed it on to a doctor who gave it to a bunch of people and then died himself. No. No one has said that. No, you are the only person other than some random QAnon fuckwad that I've just never seen before in some bizarre Reddit thread that's brought up this idea of fucking, oh my God, I'm patient zero. I'm patient zero. Fuck, does anybody have a pair of pliers? This fucker, I mean, he is in there. This is just not.
But a hearing by the Senate Select Committee on Coronavirus Pandemic found that the theory that the virus stemmed from a lab leak rather than from a stray bat was, quote, the only credible explanation for the origin of COVID-19.
Yeah, well, could that, I mean, on a 1-to-1, could that be that nobody ever fucking said stray bat?
The World Health Organization.
Like, what are you trying to tell me? Are you saying this is bullshit? I mean, tell that to this thing on my fucking head. All right. I'm going to cut a hole in my skull.
Probed the source of the virus. But beyond knowing that it started in the Wuhan lab, it couldn't identify how it spread to humans. A special investigative committee had to be established, but then had to abandon its studies because China barred access to the lab or its data. And Biden did China the enormous favor of looking the other way.
Which other way? What, towards Russia?
Even as his FBI head, Christopher Wray.
All right. I'm worried that this asshole's going to choke on his tongue at some point.
Said that the virus was likely spread through Chinese mishandling of the virus.
Right, that would be the part of the lab leak part. Okay, again, this video is what did China get from Joe? What did China get from Joe? What did China get from Joe? So get fucking to it. Secondly, there are only two possibilities if it came from the lab, that they did it on purpose or it was an accident. As far as if it's an accident, mishandling, I think, is a great description of how a lot of accidents happen. If there are hands involved and there was a fuck up, mishandling. That's a common word you're gonna find. But again, if this fuckhead is gonna argue that it was a bioweapon, it was intentionally released, that means, again, Donald Trump was president during the worst bioweapon attack on the United States of America that killed over 1 million Americans, and his response to that attack was to sell our attacker the largest order of pork, corn, soybeans, and beef in our nation's history. You guys got to step the fuck off this idea that it was a bioweapon attack if you're trying to save Trump from himself.
Took no action, no investigations, no demand that China open the Wuhan lab for international inspections, and certainly no punishment or sanction for killing 6 million people. We just cannot dismiss the possibility.
Also, no punishment or sanction. Have you seen the contents of the CHIPS Act and the executive orders that he's written about technology and how he is coordinating with our biggest tech companies to create the biggest industrial mass exodus from a fucking country in, I think, perhaps the history of the world.
That China made this pathogen for biological warfare, and that the Wuhan leak was the first shot.
All right. Well, there he said it. I mean, that's pretty direct. So this motherfucker's finally boiled down to the argument that he believes that it was an active attack on the United States and indeed the rest of the world. Dick Morris is saying that Donald Trump while he was president, witnessed and was the first line of defense against a bioweapon attack in the United States. Again, that killed 1 million Americans. And for months said, I think they're handling it very professionally. So, and also, it's very difficult to make the case that we shouldn't have had lockdowns if it's a bioweapon. At this point, if you're making the case, if you want to make the case that this was a bioweapon, that the Chinese created this virus intentionally to kill Americans and any foreigners they didn't like, and they did it on purpose, then anybody who wasn't pro-lockdown, I guess, would be in league with them. Right?
Why didn't Biden do nothing to hold China to account for what may have been the greatest crime against humanity since the Holocaust? Incompetence, malevolence, or corruption?
Okay, first of all, if they paid off whoever, like, I don't know how the fuck they were supposed to know. So they're planning on wiping out Americans and killing everybody. And Joe Biden's the perfect guy to look the other way. But they couldn't get him, so the next best thing was Donald Trump, who did exactly that, who just kissed Xi Jinping's ass, is still doing it. Trump is still kissing Xi Jinping's ass. Meanwhile, Biden, knowing the trillions of dollars of business that we are entangled with China in, is trying to get everybody out as orderly as possible before the fucking, the bear in the room turns on anybody. Like, no, everybody just back towards the door. We're good. Okay. No, it's fine. We're not leaving. We're just going outside. I have to talk to these guys. Yeah, like he's pulling one of those. Meanwhile, Trump's like, everybody in.
BRICS. Biden's about to let China destroy the dollar's status as the...
Fuck, man. We just covered this morning. Oh, we're back to that noise again. I don't know how that happened.
The global currency. Right now, we can uniquely simply print all the money we need.
No. I would not recommend that. Jerome Powell, if you're watching right now, no. That's not a good idea. We cannot uniquely print all the money we need. As a matter of fact, that's why the yuan fucking sucks. Because that's exactly what they do, dipshit.
No checks, balances, or even questions.
What are you talking about? Of course there's a check about even the money that was injected into the economy through quantitative easing by the Fed was argued by a board, a group of people appointed by presidents, and then the Congress wrote a bill to create money to put out into the circulation because businesses collapsed. The fuck?
But when some other country needs to borrow, it must first convert its currency into dollars on the world market. It can't just run the printing press and churn out more. Because the dollar is the universal currency, only the U.S. can just print money and be confident of its acceptance every place.
All right, no. We can be confident of its acceptance everywhere because we don't just print it. No matter what anybody tells you. We don't have a money printer go burr fucking problem. And as a matter of fact, one of the major reasons why we have so much fucking US currency in circulation is because it is the reserve currency. It's the above the table currency in dozens of countries. Major economies have blown off their internal currency and everybody just trades in dollars. If we started to, buy back treasuries and get rid of funds and start, taking money out of circulation, it would entail taking that money out of the circulation of dozens of developing countries. That would collapse.
But Biden is abusing the privilege by running gigantic deficits. People no
What are you talking about? The deficit's gone down under him.
longer believe in the dollar, and it's lost 1/4 of its value.
The what? Hold on. This must did the dollar fall 25 fucking cents in the last little bit? Hold on. Dollar. Well, let's see. There we go. Here. Go to this guy. And let's see. Let's find this one. No, I want to have the, where's the standard? There's the index. Okay. Okay. I've asked this many times. And motherfucker, I'm going to ask it again. And if we have any maggots in the chat, I'm sure Vivek Ramaswamy has got some free time before the debate tonight. He's probably watching the show, as he always does, just to get a hate boner or something. I've said this many times, but I think it's the clearest and cleanest way of describing how fucking idiotic these guys are. If you have too much of something, is it more valuable than if you have too little of something? Or even enough? Like, I don't have too much, but I got plenty. It's fine. And now, or if you're lagging, what would the price, the worth overall of that thing, whatever it is, that widget you sell? Yeah. This is, oh, look at that. Thanks for liking the stream. Yeah, this is the dollar right now. If you will notice, the dollar is worth more than a dollar. Part of inflation right now is the fact that you can actually, that the dollar's more powerful than for imports and exports. It's hard for people to export, buy stuff, and if you have a trading thing, the ins and outs, it's a lot of stuff. But what I can tell you is the dollar is worth more than a dollar. Now, let's go back to what Grippy McPoopy Pants over here, hold on, says, where is he? Hold on. Get this in there. Where is this? Yeah, here he is. So, tell us that again real quick. China's next target, the US dollar. Here it comes. This is what it is.
But Biden is abusing the privilege by running gigantic deficits. People no longer believe in the dollar, and it's lost 1/4 of its value.
No, it has not. How do you even get to say shit like that? And just, they're like, is somebody off camera in that studio going, does anybody want to tell him? Like, I literally Googled it. I don't know what the fuck. Like, most of the fucking arguments about the dollar right now is it too strong? Oh, and P.S. Should we look at the yuan? Yeah, trust me. All right.
China's sowing these doubts and leading an international coalition, the BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, determined to replace it with gold.
Determined to replace it with gold. Now, maybe, just maybe, we're getting around to what this motherfucker is actually getting at, which is he, like a bunch of these right-wing dickheads online and Newsmax and all these other sites, have, RSBN especially, sell gold as a, you got to store it out there. That's prepper currency. Be like John Wick. Pay for everything with one gold coin. It's the Ayn Rand future we all dream of. They're all fucking selling gold and trying to, puff up the fucking price. Let me tell you something about gold, if I may. Look, a moment about gold. Gold is a pretty rock. That's it. You could power cities with uranium. You can conduct electricity through silver and copper better than gold. But gold is just fucking shiny. That's it. That's all of it. And it's soft enough you can make shit out of it easier than the other stuff you have to hammer a little harder. That's it. And we're going to use that as the standard. What happens if people stop thinking it's pretty? Then what? Fucking hell.
If they succeed, we would have to make up our almost $3 trillion deficit by huge cuts in our social spending and, more important, in our defense spending, and that may be China's real objective. Had Biden only ratcheted back our spending gradually, we never would have faced the inflation, the loss of faith in the dollar we do today.
Sorry. Had only ratcheted it back gradually? The fuck you think is... that's what's actually happening.
Our credibility as the world's benchmark currency would have stayed intact.
It is intact. You know, don't believe me? BRICS. The mighty dollar is secure for now. Hold on. Get out of here. Dollar firmer as traders look to Jackson Hole gathering. The U.S. dollar edged higher against a basket of currencies on Tuesday, nearing a 2-month peak touched last week. As traders awaited the Jackson Hole Symposium later in the week, the U.S. dollar index, which measures the currency against 6 major counterparts, was up 0.2% at 103.57. The index is sitting just shy of a 2-month high of 103.68, reached last week, as worries over China's economy and bets U.S. interest rates will stay high lifted the greenback. Overall, moves in currency markets were expected to be limited ahead of a speech by Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell at the Fed's Central Bank Symposium at Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And by the way, Jackson Hole is one of my favorite named cities. I just sounds so wrong. Powell's appearance will be watched very closely. Blah, blah. I don't see any huge moves for the U.S. dollar before the symposium. No one's to get caught on the wrong side of that market. Meanwhile, traders, blah, blah, blah. Right now, the world is watching China with bated breath, waiting further stimulus measures. I got news for you. They ain't coming. China is and shall stay fucked.
But now China has led the BRICS countries to abandon the dollar.
No, they haven't. Fuck are you talking about? They have not. We won't let Russia have any, and we're getting a bunch of them out of China. That's not the same fucking thing.
And trade with one another in gold-backed currency.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's and they've got enough gold amongst them to do that. So Russia was hoarding all that gold at the beginning of the Ukraine war just so they'd be on an even keel. They don't want to be behind or ahead of any of the other BRICS countries if they're using gold-backed currency. Does everybody have to accumulate the exact same amount of gold and keep their stores of gold in line so that the new unified currency can be traded for gold in any of those countries at any fucking time? Nonsense.
As China leads a global revolt against the buck dollar, Biden does
the buck dollar?
Nothing. No resistance, no criticism, and no discipline as he continues to insist on massive deficit spending.
Well, even the infrastructure bill is not deficit spending. It's investment spending. I mean, that's classic. I mean, you talk about unfunded tax cuts like Trump had. That's deficit spending. Infrastructure is not. Especially when the infrastructure you're talking about, like removing lead pipes, will contribute to more fucking human beings being alive after.
Why is Biden letting China defeat the dollar?
I'd have to go back to your premise that they are in the first place, which they fucking aren't.
Once again, is it incompetence, malevolence, or corruption?
Is there non-malevolent corruption? I don't know.